All eyes are on the French Assemblée Nationale as Prime Minister Francois Bayrou, the country's fourth leader in less than 2 years, faces a crucial confidence vote that he's expected to lose. It could plunge France, the Eurozone's second largest economy, into deeper political and economic turmoil. The timing could not be worse as Europe grapples with Russia's war in Ukraine, a rising China, not to mention growing trade tensions with Washington. France has not seen this level of political instability since the 1950s Fourth Republic, when it had 5 prime ministers in just 2 years. This is what the Prime Minister had to say earlier.
Cette épreuve de vérité,
I wanted this test of truth as head of government, with the approval of the President of the Republic. Some of you, the majority, probably the most sensible, thought it was unreasonable, that it was too big a risk. However, I think exactly the opposite. The greatest risk was not to take it, to let things continue without anything changing, to continue politics as usual.
Let's cross now to France 24's Clovis Casali at the Assemblée Nationale. Clovis, what did the Prime Minister say in his speech?
Well, he very much tried to defend his policies and said that he was a man who was in charge to reduce deficits, to diminish public spending. And he addressed several issues, several key points, notably the issue of taxing the wealthier parts of society. Because, you know, many here in France at the National Assembly, many MPs accused him of seeking austerity only for the middle class and not enough for the richer parts of society. Well, he said if you increase the tax for the Arnault family, for instance, the bosses of LVMH, of Vuitton and so on, well, they're only going to flee the country and not necessarily go to the other part of the world, but to other European countries. And same would go for French businesses if you raised more taxes on them. Francois Bayrou also saying that there was an urgent need to reduce deficits because we owed this to our youth. That's what Francois Bayrou said, because of course his argument is that when you have huge deficits, well, you pass them on to the next generation and you actually only pay the interest of the debt and not the debt itself.
Now, of course, the Prime Minister, after he finished his speech, the floor was then open to representatives from opposition parties. What have they been saying, Clovis?
Well, the first group that spoke after Francois Bayrou were the Socialists and Boris Vallaud. Boris Vallaud from a party, the Socialist Party, that could send the next Prime Minister. He could come from those ranks. That's what the Socialists said. They said, President Macron, we are ready, pick one of us. But the Socialists also accusing Francois Bayrou, the Prime Minister, of a moral mistake by leaving, saying this is not bravery, you're actually running away from difficulties. And then you had Laurent Wauquiez, who's the boss of the Républicains, the right-wing party here at the National Assembly, head of that group, saying that France was caught in deep instability. We shouldn't add more instability. He also said that some Les Républicains would vote to defend Francois Bayrou, vote for Francois Bayrou, and others against. So very divided indeed, and it seems that the survival of the French Prime Minister is only a few matter of hours now.
And Clovis, who's going to speak next and what can we expect?
Well, every parliamentary group gets to talk here at the National Assembly and, of course, put forward their views on the situation, what they think of Francois Bayrou. But all eyes are on Emmanuel Macron, of course, the French president, who will need to find a next prime minister if Francois Bayrou loses this vote of confidence. Emmanuel Macron, who could he choose? A socialist? Possibly also someone from his centrist bloc, such as Sébastien Lecornu, Minister of Armies, Defence Minister here, and who does get the support of the centrist bloc, possibly of some from the National Rally, the French far right. It's very difficult One former minister of Emmanuel Macron was telling us a few minutes ago that she thinks it should be someone who's neutral, neither left-wing nor right-wing, a technocrat, if you will, to try to help France, try to get a common manifesto going for the next coming months and get some kind of consensus here at the National Assembly, because the idea, of course, is to be able to pass some laws and pass especially the next budget.